Well, by now we've all heard about the claims that a Delta Airlines passenger was kicked off a flight because he was speaking Arabic. That claim hit the internet like wildfire, but guess what? The man actually is a well-known hoaxer. Adam Saleh, who reports say has staged these type of stunts before. Well, his fellow passengers said there was a disturbance, that there were shouting, upsetting some of the passengers, and that the reason he was booted off that flight had nothing to do with speaking Arabic.
He stood up and started shouting, putting his fist in the air, shouting something that sounded really Arabic. For no reason, sat down. A few minutes passed and then he was up again, doing it again. He did it 3 times, till eventually people said, no, we're not happy with this.
People were crying. They felt so uncomfortable because it felt awkward. It was really uncomfortable. There wasn't fear. It was just uncomfort. It was like, why is this happening in today's world?
Oh, some are accusing Saleh, a famous YouTube prankster, of purposely inciting anti-Muslim sentiment. At this time, though, Mr. Saleh says it's no joke.
While we're in there and getting accused and people telling us, oh, they need to leave right now, me and him felt like we were terrorists. We were looking at each other like, laughing. This was not a prank, no prank at all.
So, what should happen to Saleh? Let's bring our legal panel for more on this. Doug Burns joins us, defense attorney, former prosecutor, also here trial attorney Nolan Klein. Doug and Nolan, welcome. Doug, let me start with you.
Sure.
You know, Adam Saleh's got 1.7 million followers on YouTube, and I mean, you look at his YouTubes. Videos. He's done this type of thing before. What do you think?
Well, you have the facts and you have the law, so let's go through it. Factually, there's a dispute. He says, look, I was kicked off the flight, removed from the flight, simply because I was speaking in a foreign language, in this case, Arabic. Delta Airlines, on the other hand, said, no, he created a disturbance. So there's your factual dispute. And as you pointed out going in, there's some indication that he's done this type of, hoax-type behavior. Legally, however, I wanted to point out that interference with a flight crew, which is a felony in federal court, and I've been in 3 of these cases, 2 as a prosecutor, once as a defense lawyer. You have to harass, intimidate, or threaten the flight crew. So I don't think you have that, and I don't think he's going to be charged with that, Eric.
Nolan, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, this is not about Adam versus Delta. This is about Adam versus 20 other people who are complaining about his conduct before they even left the gate. And you can imagine what type of conduct causes 20 people to complain. I don't know exactly what he was doing, but certainly the reports are that he was yelling, he was rambunctious, he was making people feel uncomfortable enough to complain that they just wouldn't be able to go on this flight with him. So it is a whole panoply of people. It is not just Delta that is taking issue with his conduct on this flight, conduct which is completely consistent with what we know he's done before in terms of pranks related to air travel. He's had at least one other racial profiling video that was debunked as a hoax by the Smoking Gun, and Adam Saleh himself acknowledges that this may seem like the boy who cried wolf because of his prior history, but this time it's not. Well, that's the thing about being the boy who cries wolf. You can say, but this time it's not, and, you know, it's kind of hard to believe you, and I think this kind of conduct really cheapens and dissuades from the attention that should be focused on real incidents or real discrimination that may be suffered by other people who are not just trying to get YouTube hits. He may have sky-high YouTube hits, but he was grounded this time, and I think with good cause.
Doug, I mean, that's the principle. You go on the YouTube, he's had one where he apparently staged a fight in front of a New York City police officers, one dressed in Western outfit, another one dressed as Muslims to see if they would react more if you're dressed in a Muslim outfit. He has another video in which a woman's hijab is pulled off to see if anyone would react. He dropped a wallet in a Middle Eastern country, and then he dropped the wallet in the United States to see if there was any difference. So, I mean, should he be banned? I mean, Doug,
I think
if you run out of the field, you know, in a baseball stadium, you get banned for life, and airlines have banned people for life. Does this qualify under that?
I think Nolan lays it out well, and the reality is that's why in law, to bring it back to that, arena, we have these rules that talk about, other instances, other conduct, when it can shed light and so on, and I think it's highly, highly relevant here, these other instances that both of you guys have raised. Should he be banned from Delta Airlines? I'm not really sure on that one. That's a tough question. I don't think... As I said earlier, I don't think he's going to be prosecuted, but Delta Airlines could ostensibly ban him, yes.
Yeah, Nolan, do you think he should be banned? I mean, what's interesting is he got rebooked on another flight, and they put him on another airline.
The Virgin, right?
You know, and he flew back. What do you think should happen to him? No.
Well, based on his conduct, as it's been relayed at least through the media and by the other eyewitnesses who were there, his conduct was such that he should probably be banned from flying in general. I certainly wouldn't want to be flying with someone who's trying to get attention by provoking me or other passengers. And Delta did exactly the right thing. The contract of carriage that he agreed to when he got on that flight said that if he's going to in any way disrupt or make other passengers uncomfortable, they have a right to remove him. And he agreed to that when he got on that flight. And they were not only within their rights, but I think within the scope of their obligations to remove him if all of these passengers were uncomfortable, again, before they even left the gate. And this is looking forward to a trip from London to New York with this guy. It seems to me that they did exactly the right thing.
You know,
yeah.
We're out of time. Delta said that there was a disturbance, that there was provocative behavior and shouting, and of course their responsibility to everyone on board is to have a safe flight, and that always comes first. So that is apparently what they did.
Yes.
Doug and Nolan, thank you, and happy holidays.
You too, Eric.
Of course.
Happy holidays.
Molly?